This is my garage.
How's it going, guys? And welcome back to my garage. So yes, today we are going to start working on the BMW E30 that we've got up on the lift over here. But I just quickly wanted to show you guys the Ford Focus one more time. So this car is pretty much perfect now, in my opinion. This thing has been repainted at the service center, and we also polished it again because that had to be redone. So this thing turned out pretty well. It looks pretty good, and my plans are we are going to be using this car in our upcoming roleplay series. So this is going to be a vehicle that I tuck into a barn, and it's going to be shipped over to a new save for the roleplay series that I'm currently busy preparing for. So yeah, definitely stay tuned for that, guys. It's going to be a good one, hopefully. So we'll see how that all turns out. But yeah, for the time being, this little car is just going to sit over here until we are done with this series, which I plan on doing within the next 3 episodes. Going to see if we can sort this BMW out, which is also going to be featured in the roleplay series. I think it'll be a great addition to the series, having this car there as well. As for the other vehicles, I don't think there's going to be any of those featured, but we'll see how it works out. So yeah, what I'm planning on doing today is starting out with this bodywork first of all. We've got to replace the roof on this car. And then we are going to be taking the engine out and redoing the suspension. So I'm going to see how this is going to work. We're going to try and, stretch the work on this car for the next 3 episodes, because this is episode 48, and then 49 and 50 would be the last one probably. We'll see how it also works out. I've got no idea. So yeah, I think without any further delays, let's get into this thing and see what it's all about. So I already grabbed the Bondo earlier. Let's maybe just do this again so that I can show you guys what is actually happening with this car. So as you can see, we are going to be able to repair the quarter panel over here. The roof is actually not fixable, so that is going to have to be replaced. The trunk can be repaired, as well as this quarter panel can be repaired as well. And the bumper can also be fixed up. So I'm going to see if we can do this with the Bondo at least. And that way we don't have to chop this car apart all the way. So I think let's grab our trusty old plasma cutter here. I'm going to dive into this and see how this thing comes off. I think it's probably just these 4 welds on the corners. That would make sense. So let's see if this is coming off now. There we go. Alright, so we've got our roof off, and we're quickly going to check all of the parts on this thing. What is going to be salvageable. So I think most of these things will probably come off with the pry tool. So let's just start over here. Gonna have to inspect every single thing we take off. This rear glass seems to be intact. Although, okay, I think this frame might be bent a bit, so we're gonna have to replace that. The rear windscreen or windshield is also bad. You can see it's bent quite badly, so we're gonna replace that one. This one might be fine. It looks like it might be straight, I don't know, but we'll see. I mean, we've got a little bit of money to spend on parts, so I might as well go ahead and replace all of these, even if they don't show any wear. The headliner is probably also bad, because that would have been dented with the roof, so yeah, that's going to be replaced. And then I don't know if this little antenna can also be salvaged. It's anyway worn, so yeah, I think we're just going to go ahead and replace everything on this roof. So let's go do a little bit of shopping. And would you look at that, this car actually looks like a convertible now without the roof. Just sadly we don't have a convertible part for this, so yeah. Alright, so let's get into the catalog over here. We're going to scroll all the way over to E30. We're going to go over to body. Let's see what we can find over here. So there's a bunch of stuff we actually need to be mindful of here, because I think the roof for the coupe and the roof for the sedan might be different. So yeah, there we go. This is the roof for the coupe, so we're going to buy one of those. Quarter panels and stuff like that we don't need to buy. So I don't know if the B pillar maybe got any damage, so we'll have to check that out maybe. But I think this is the main thing. Once we can get this installed, it should give us a pretty good idea of what's cooking with the B pillars. That one actually looks good. This one looks a little bit damaged there, so we'll see if that can be fixed with some Bondo. Okay, let's grab our welder. Just got to be on those welds perfectly, otherwise you end up wasting your electrode. Alright, let's take this over to this side, and we're going to grab the handle once again and just weld it up there. Okay, quarter panel seems a little bit out of whack. There we go. Alright, so the roof is back on. Okay, so that wasn't too bad. Alright, let's grab ourselves a hammer. Okay, let's see what panels we can actually knock a bit with the hammer. Nothing seems to be doing anything. Okay, the B pillar had a little bit of something we could do there. Let's just check this as well. Okay, yeah, the doors are going to be freaking out on us, but okay, I think that is pretty good. So we are going to be able to at least fix up the dents now, and we're going to just do it here on the lift, because I don't think we need to move this thing into the body shop for that, or the paint booth for that matter. Let's fix up the trunk. We are going to be replacing some interior panels as well. Just got to go at this with a little bit of Bondo. Yeah, this trunk actually had quite a bit of dents on it. Just got to figure out where the rest of these dings are on this trunk, but it's probably kind of scattered all over the place. The bumper should probably only be damaged on this side. And this is actually supposed to be a plastic bumper, if you ask me, but I guess it's pretty much what it is. Okay, that's probably the quarter panel that we are picking up now, behind the bumper here. So let's go at the quarter panel for a bit and see what this is all about. Okay, I think the trim actually also pops off of this thing. Okay, but that looks like the quarter panel sorted, and let's do the B pillar. Might need us to take the door off, because I think the door is sort of colliding with the B pillar here a bit. Yeah, it's a little bit tricky. Okay, let's come around this side. Nope, still not really picking it up there, but yeah, it's a little bit tricky doing this. We'll see. Luckily, this car's original color is, well, interior color is black, so it's not going to be a problem for us to repair the interior. Let's get ourselves a wrench. I just want to see if I can take this door off, because I think this is kind of messing with us at the moment. So let's just do this. Door seems to be fine. Okay, now we can maybe get this rocker, well, B pillar, a little bit better, if the lift isn't too much in the way here, but just gotta keep at it. Okay, the Bondo is finished, so let's just grab another tub over here. Alright, there we go, nice and full one. Let's see what's cooking over here. Is this fixed up now? Is it still banged up? Looks like it. You know what, let's maybe see where's our thingy for the plasma cutter. I just want to see how this thing actually comes off. Is that welded over there? Doesn't look like it. So it's welded there. Okay, so there's our B pillar. Okay, let's check this out. Can we fix it up like this? There we go. I think that is good. Alright, let's get this back onto the car. Just like that. And we're going to have to weld it again. It's just strange we don't have any welds at the top of the B pillar here, which is a little bit strange, but you know what, I guess it is what it is, as long as it's all welded into place according to how the mod was supposed to be put together. But there you go, we've got a good-ish looking BMW E30 once again. Let's put our door back on. Okay, and there's a bolt there, and there should be another one down here. Alright, so just like that, bodywork is pretty much sorted. So I think we are ready to move over to the next part of this job, which will probably be suspension and engine. I think what I want to do actually is start with this engine. I want to go through this modded engine and see how it comes together and how everything works. So we're going to start with that. Let's start by removing the exhaust. Okay, exhaust. This is a custom exhaust for the car, which is being a little bit weird, but okay. Right, so that is 55%, and that is the M50. And we also have got different exhaust tips for this, which is great, which means we can actually upgrade it a bit and yeah, change it to something else. Okay, that's also something we can inspect. Muffler, original muffler rat. Okay, that is quite interesting. Haven't really found an exhaust pipe that goes onto the i6R other than the wolf exhaust, because I think those are the same. But alright, let's continue over here. We're going to take off the drive shaft. Okay, so usually I forget this and then we end up having trouble getting this removed. So let's just go ahead and take this off. Alright, 67%. It's not too bad. So I think this gearbox over here is very much the same as the inline 6R gearbox. Although I'm not too sure. Let's just see if we can find some more bolts over here. There's no transmission support or anything like that. Okay, let's bring it down. Gotta try and figure out how this engine comes out, because I haven't really done this before on the modded engine. We've got a lot of teeny tiny little bolts and stuff that we need to take care of here, and it looks like we've got a fuel line on this. Is this the base game fuel line? It might be, but we might have to just hang on to that one because it's not bad. It's 89%, so we might be able to reuse that. Now it's going to be a matter of finding these transmission bolts for it to come off. Let's also undo the starter bolt. Okay, there's a bolt down there. Is there any more on this side? Yeah, this engine is actually very cramped into this engine bay. But I think we've got the gearbox. There we go. There's our M50 gearbox. Doesn't look too bad. Alrighty, and now we need to take the engine out, which I'm hoping is going to be problem free. Ground bolt. There should be an alternator bolt somewhere. Let's just undo this as well. Right, starter bolt is loose, and oh, okay, we didn't loosen the alternator bolt. But the engine seems to have popped out, which is okay. Engine bay is relatively empty now, but we are going to be replacing all of this stuff. So let's take the battery out. Okay, so battery, we can just check this out real quick. That's on 57. Okay, we're going to replace that as well. All right, and battery wires. Now that's probably going to be stuck onto the car. We'll have to save and reload for this to come out. Because we didn't undo it from the alternator, which is kind of weird that the engine popped out. I maybe should have done this before I took the engine bolts out, but you know what? It's not really a problem. Now we can at least dive into this engine and figure out how this thing actually comes together and what is the story with it, how bad it is. Alright, so let's bring our toolbox over and see. Okay, so let's just start somewhere. I think let's start at the air box over here, or the air filter box, and look at that. That is actually a teeny tiny little air filter if you pop it off. Okay, and the air filter itself can be removed by hand. Okay, that's not too bad. But yeah, that scaling is definitely a little bit off if you do it like that. How does this come off? Is that also pry tool? I mean, we are figuring this out. This is the first thing, well, the first time I'm actually doing this, and I decided to do it on a video. So yeah, we're going to be learning this together, guys. So that is one way of doing this, I guess. Is this pipe also part of the, well, it's a separate part. Yeah, I was almost thinking that was going to be part of the throttle body thing that's sitting over here. on the intake. So let's take it off real quick. Can definitely see some of the parts are showing wear. So that we need, we'll probably replace everything that's below 100% at this stage, because I think we can try and build this engine perfectly. Just got to figure out how everything comes off, because there's tiny little bolts and screws all over this thing. So now there's another thing that I'm worried about. Is that an actual bolt, or what is the story? Because if you grab it, you can see the little tiny bolt there, but it doesn't seem to have any bolt that we can undo on that. So yeah, I've got no idea. How does that fuel rail come off? Is it pry tool? Okay, so a lot of these things are removable with the pry tool. Okay, 97%. So I don't know, maybe I should set a minimum part condition of 90% for this engine, which means we are going to be replacing a whole bunch of stuff. And if we find parts like this condition, 97, I think that's something we can reuse. Let's see, what is this? This is our ignition wires. Okay, 85%, so that is under 90%, so we'll replace those. Alrighty, and yeah, I guess it's just a matter of unbolting a bunch of stuff now, figuring this out. This looks like our intake. Alright, well, there's probably a whole lot more to it than just those upper bolts, so these might be it. There we go, not too shabby. Intake manifold, so there's nothing else on this thing we can take off. What are those? Are those like injectors? I don't know. Let's see. Spark plug wrench. Yeah, they actually come out. Alright, that is quite a bit of a chore if you ask me. All of these tiny little nitty-gritty stuff. So there should be 6 of these, because it's obviously a 6-cylinder engine. These are injectors, in fact. Okay, that one is good. That is reusable. Alright, let's just spin this thing around. Is it gonna... Yeah, it's probably gonna freak out on us every time we try and put it down. So, weird collisions, but you know what? We'll make it work. We'll figure this out. Intake manifold itself is at 75%, so it's not too bad. Okay, that is 87. So we'll just go ahead and replace all of these. 26. Okay, so that one is bad. But this car was running, so it's probably not a real big problem, but I'd rather have it a little bit better. As good as it can be. Okay, intake manifold seems to be behaving itself a little bit better now. Alright, but yeah, we've got still a lot of stuff to strip off this thing. There's our oil filter. I think there are 2 different types of oil filters for this engine, so we'll check it out once we start buying parts. Alright, so where did I go with my wrench now? It's over there, okay. We might want to put that back in the toolbox as well. Okay, let's continue stripping stuff off. Let's do the start. Oh, I don't know what I just unbolted there. Could be that, yes. Okay, we don't want to undo that yet. Just bolt that up. Okay, so I probably got something from the flywheel. Okay, let's maybe check this out. How does this come off? This is our clutch plate. How many bolts does this have? Gotta figure it out. Okay, so it's just... I can't really see how many that was now. It's 1, 2, 3, 4. So 5 bolts on the pressure plate. Okay. And there goes the clutch plate, which is the 33% at the moment. So that is actually bad. Alright, how does the flywheel come off? Okay, so that's the bolt we managed to loosen up without... well, even trying to loosen it up. Now, I can't really see what the heck is going on here. Can we see it a bit better from here? Doesn't look like this wants to come off, and I only see the one bolt there, so I don't know yet. We'll have to maybe leave that to last. Okay, let's get our our exhaust header off. Yeah, I'm definitely loosening bolts here without needing to loosen them yet. There's a couple of weird things that looks like bolts, but they are not bolts. Okay, so let's go ahead and remove this thing. I think some of these bolts are definitely a bit unnecessary, if you ask me. There's no bolts on this that I can see. Because usually these things would split, yeah? Alright, you know what? Let's just unbolt everything. Hopefully we can get this thing off without any issues. Yep, it doesn't seem to want to come off. Okay, wait, there's another bolt. Okay, there we go. So that is our exhaust manifold. Still looks nice and shiny, but yeah, we don't have a whole lot of wear on this engine by the looks of it. Okay, so let's maybe start at the front. This alternator belt usually comes off by hand, so that is plain simple. Okay, let's see. The alternator's got a bolt there and it's got a bolt over here. Okay, there's the alternator, 28%. What is this? This is probably a water pump. As I said, guys, I don't really know this engine, but all the engines are pretty much basically the same thing. There's a water pump, and we've got an idler pulley over there, but those aren't removable. We'll remove this pulley. Okay, that's our crankshaft pulley. Okay, so far so good. We are figuring it out. Don't know if this engine has got any bugs. It has been updated to URP, and I've got to figure out where this other timing cover bolt is. It's probably around here somewhere. That might be it. Okay, that looks like it. And there it goes. There's the whole assembly of that. Okay, so I don't see any other parts that's coming off of this. No more bolts to do, so I guess we'll only see once we start buying parts what this is all about. Let's maybe do this. Looks like it's just the 2 bolts on this. That's our valve cover. Or, yeah, top engine cover. Alright. Now, these probably need to come out by either by hand or pry tool. So are those individual coils? I don't know. Let's see, maybe it's a set of coils. Yeah, it's a set. Okay, so everything comes out in one go. Ignition coils, 30%. Okay, we'll replace those. Okay, let's do this next. We're gonna undo the valve cover. This is the actual valve cover. Well, I don't know if it's considered a valve cover, but it's probably a... Yeah, the camshaft is below this, so... Engine head cover. Okay. Alrighty, so that is not too bad. We've got a couple of spark plugs. Okay, let's grab our spark wrench again. Alrighty. Oh, this is straightforward if you ask me. Let's put our tools on the table behind us. Okay, spark plugs. Yeah, we'll just get new spark plugs for this thing all round. Yeah, I don't think we're gonna bother with these. I'm just gonna, you know what, let's just save some time and just drop them on the floor here. Okay, why can't I grab this one? Is that... Okay, that's just a little bit weird. Alright, how do the camshafts come out? I don't see any bolts. Okay, wait, there are bolts. Okay, let's see. So this is gonna probably take a couple of bolts before this can come off. Alright, just like this. Okay, is that gonna come out now? Okay, this is our intake camshaft. Okay, kind of makes sense because the intake was on that side. Alrighty, and yeah, this is probably our exhaust camshaft. Let's see how this works. I've got no idea about the timing chain. Maybe I should just check. Okay, so that comes out like that. Okay, by hand. There's another timing chain here. That's the timing chain A, timing chain B. Okay. Kind of makes sense. All right, let's just continue with our exhaust camshaft here. I was actually busy with this and I got distracted with the timing chain because I just wanted to take it off before we take this off, because you never know if you can do it afterwards. Okay, so exhaust camshaft is still decent. Okay, and next up would probably be the cylinder head. Now, got some bolts over here. Yeah, that's a lot of head bolts, but that's probably how it works out in real life as well. Right, one there and one there, and that's our cylinder head. Alright, now the question is, are there any parts bolted down onto this thing? I guess we'll only see once we buy the new one, because this one is going to be replaced, obviously, but I don't see anything attached to this anymore. I might be wrong, I've got no idea. There's our head gasket. Pretty well detailed engine, this, guys. It's really very well modeled. There's the pistons. Still no idea how the flywheel comes off, but we'll probably get to that once we do the pistons and stuff. Although I'll probably just replace the whole camshaft with pistons and all. Okay, so there's our oil pan. It's not too bad, but we'll rather replace it. Alright, let's have a look at this now. We've got our pistons. Let's just undo all the pistons first of all. They'll probably pop out automatically as we are unbolting them, so just go ahead and let them all scatter themselves across the floor here. Okay, those are all the pistons. And what's the condition of these? They are not bad. Well, that one is a little bit bad. 92%, 63, 29. So there's only one piston that I'm going to reuse, which will be this one, 92%. So we can reuse that one at least. Although, yeah, I think it's just worthwhile buying all new pistons, because we are going to be building this thing completely from scratch. So there's no use in really using one piston that's good out of this thing. So there we go. There's our flywheel. Okay, let's bring this way over here. Well, flywheel with crankshaft. Okay, there we go. We've got a couple of bolts. Okay, so it's just a little bit hard to see these bolts when the engine is on the stand. So that should do that. And yeah, as I said, these parts need to be moved far away. Otherwise, they just go right back onto where they came from. There's our crankshaft. Crankshaft isn't too bad. So yeah, I think that is not too shabby, and I don't see anything else mounted to this engine block. So I think we are golden. This is the engine, completely stripped. I don't see anything else to take off here. There's no more bolts. Are those maybe guides? Let's see. Okay, we've got engine guides here. Okay, I nearly missed these, but yeah, is that coming off? Is that stuck on there? I don't know. It doesn't look like it wants to come off. Maybe it's a set. Yeah, that's a set of guides or timing chain guides. Okay, now the engine block should be stripped. Yeah, I think so. It doesn't look like there's anything else to take off here. Oil filter was there. Engine block itself is a little bit bad, so we're going to replace this anyway. I'm just making sure we don't have anything else mounted to this thing. But as I said, I think we'll probably buy the parts and then see what it's all about. So let's get over to the catalog over here. And now we need to navigate to the M50. We're going to go over to engine. And there's going to be a very little part showing up. So I might have to go to all cars. Let's just see if this is going to work out a bit better for us. seeing as the parts aren't popping up, and we're gonna click engine again. Okay, hopefully there's not gonna be a whole lot of unnecessary parts here. Well, there's a couple of things actually. So there's the chain. Yeah, this is a bit of a problem because we've got Hemi stuff showing up. So let's maybe move over to rat. Because I think maybe that'll... No, not really. It's not going to really help much. Okay, so this is going to have to be done with the all car section, most probably. Yeah, it's just going to be a whole lot of unnecessary parts showing up. Yeah, we've got a crap ton of stuff that I don't need, but okay. Looks like we are starting here with the M50 2.0. So we're going to go ahead and buy all of this. Crankshaft, head gasket, head, oil filter Bosch, oil filter K&N. Yeah, let's get the more expensive one. Oh, we've got individual sprockets as well, so those are actually left on the camshafts. Timing chain B, alternator, engine head cover. Yeah, you know what? I don't really think we're gonna remember what parts are good and which aren't. So I think our fuel rail was good, but yeah, let's just build a brand new engine. And I don't think that was something we had on our engine. This might not be for this car. I don't know, guys. We'll figure it out together here. Air filter box, air filter pipe, cone air filter, exhaust manifold, intake manifold turbo, exhaust manifold turbo. Okay, there's the turbo stuff. Okay, these seem to be other mods. There's the injectors, injector HP, piston HP. Okay, well, just buy 6 new injectors, and I think from here we've got some other... Yeah, those are from other mods. Okay. It's just a pity these things are all showing up here. And there's the radiator for the E30, most probably. I don't know. We'll see. Because there's the exhaust pipe 30M50. Exhaust manifolds E30 M50. Okay, so we might have actually bought the wrong one. That one was probably for the E36 that I bought. Let's just see, exhaust manifold. Yeah, it says just exhaust manifold on that one, so I've got no idea if it's actually this one. There's a quick way of looking at this, so let's just quickly see what this is called. This is the exhaust manifold E30. Okay, so yeah, we did buy the wrong one. Okay, yeah, it's definitely hard buying the right stuff if you get all sorts of extra parts popping up in the catalog when you're searching for some, you know, parts for a specific engine. But okay, guys, I think we've got everything that we need. It's just going to be a matter of trying to figure this all out. Yeah, that is the wrong one. So we're going to keep that one side. Okay, but let's start on this engine. So we'll start with the engine block, and I think we'll just do it here on the floor because all the parts are here. So let's just rebuild this thing brand new on the floor. Could have actually just scrapped the other engine, you know what, but it's a good thing I took it apart, because now at least I know more or less how it comes together. So yeah, that looks like we've got all the bolts. Yeah, that all looks good. Alright, well, let's continue with the pistons next. Pistons should be in between here somewhere, because I did buy all of them. Okay, so there are the pistons. Hopefully we've got the right stuff. Okay, so this is going to be a little bit tricky. We need to be more or less specific of where we want to put the pistons. Okay, and zip it down. And there's one piston that we skipped over here. Okay, there it is. Okay, and there's another one over there. I think we've got 4 out of 5. Okay. Would you go into place? There we go. Okay, we'll just put it there. And where's the last piston? It should be underneath all of these parts. Okay, some of these parts aren't pickable with the spanner in your hand or the wrench in your hand. Now, where's our last piston? Did I not buy? Oh, there it is. Okay. All right, this goes into this position. Okay, come on. You can go in. All right, come on. Needs to go in there. Okay, we've got it. Okay, now the question is, did I tighten up all the bolts? I think so. So let's just the oil pan on. Okay, so that is our sub-assembly done. Alright, oil pan is on, so now we can get our head gasket and then cylinder head installed. And see how everything comes together on that. Okay, is the engine gonna stay like this for us? There's our cylinder head. Okay, all these bolts. Yeah, it's got a lot of bolts. Alright, I think we are golden. Now exhaust camshaft can go this side. Once again, lots of bolts. Okay, zip it down, zip it down. Alright guys, just a little bit of news about the Dodge Charger that we had over there. So I also decided to put that one in the barn. We're not going to be fixing it up in this series. Might be doing a little bit of work to a Charger in the roleplay series and just fixing one of those up along the course of the series. And we might also be having a look at some other cars and just see how everything works out. Okay, because there's still a lot of mods that weren't updated yet to the URP version of the game. So, yeah, we're just going to have to give them a little bit of time to sort all of the mods out and see how it comes together. Okay, so now I'm looking for the other sprocket, which is somewhere over here. And we just popped the... Oh, crap. Don't tell me we needed to... Yeah, we probably needed to mount the sprocket before we put the camshaft in, you know, which is a... It's a whole lot of fun. Okay, well, let's take this camshaft out again. If that is what it's going to require. And I also don't know if we should have put the timing chains on yet. Okay, but there's our sprocket. So let's put the timing chains on. We're going to need the guides, because I think the guides actually... is where everything mounts to. Okay, guides, there we go, guides are in. Let's put this in, okay, and put this on. No, 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 no. What are you freaking doing, engine? Alright, there we go. Moving along, we've got that installed. I don't think this is anything to do with our engine. That is for the motorcycle. Yeah, as I said, the parts just showed up, guys. So I was thinking that was it, but it wasn't it. It's it looks very similar to our timing chain that we've got on this engine, though. But yeah, obviously it's not relevant. Okay, let's do this camshaft. Zip it down, zip it down, zip it down, zip it down, zip it down. There we go. All right, now we can probably get our this cover on. Let's see something, because I'm not too happy with this color, this golden-ish color. I'm just going to make it a black thing. Let's just do that. There we go. That's fine. Yeah, I wasn't digging the golden look on that, so we'll just change it black, and then that's going to look a little bit better. Alrighty, and zip it down. Perfect. Okay, I don't know if it is supposed to be gold, but most probably is, but I don't like it. Alright guys, now I've got to figure this all out. Let's get our flywheel on the back of our crankshaft here. I'm still working with the torch on because it's a bit dark without it. Here's our clutch plate. pressure plate. No. Come on. Oh, crap. Okay. There we go. Let's just remove this again. Yeah, this engine really needs to be on the stand rather, because that is definitely acting up a bit, but okay. There we go. Alright, so zip it down. Okay, so there we go. We've got our flywheel clutch plate assembly on, and what is next? Let's just start checking this out. Timing cover. Yeah, let's do the timing cover. Sort that part out, and then just bolt it down. Yeah, I think probably timing parts would be the next step here, so we'll focus on the timing parts. Okay, I think we've got that all bolted down. I can't remember if there's any more bolts to this. It doesn't look like it. There's nothing hiding behind here. Nothing over there. Okay, there's one over there. Okay. Alright, I knew there was one just hiding somewhere. The alternator can go on right over here. That is a bolt and that is a bolt. Alright, water pump. Alright, how many bolts was on this? I think it's just a 3. 1, 2, and 3. I don't see any other bolts. Okay, so I think we are good. Let's get the oil filter popped onto here. Does it go on? Yeah, it does. Okay, so we've got the K and N on, and I'm still a little bit worried about this. Where does this actually go to? Because we didn't have it on our engine. That was actually missing. A little bit concerning, but you know what? It's not so bad. We'll at least put it on our engine. Let's get these injectors on the intake. Where's the intake? Okay. We'll pop them onto the intake first, maybe. Or maybe let's just do it like this. We'll put the intake on the engine, and then we'll bolt it down, and then we'll get to the injectors a little bit easier, I think. Alright, there are some bolts under here. Okay, we can actually do them from this angle, which is great. Okay, I think that is intake installed. Alright, let's grab all of these. Whoa, okay, where did that... Okay, so that went into there. That's fine, that can stay there. Where's the throttle body? Did we buy the throttle body? I didn't see it. I might have to look for that again in the catalog. But okay, let's focus on these things. These little injectors. Okay, pop them all in. There we go. Easy does it. Alright, perfect. Let's get our socket wrench from here. I think I'll just grab a trash bag and pick all of this rubbish up here. Yeah, I don't think we'll need any more engines in this series, really, so can just go ahead and get rid of all that junk. Okay, so there's our ignition coils, or, well, what are those injectors? Yeah, injectors installed. Speaking of ignitions, we still need spark plugs, you know. This can go onto here. There was a bolt here somewhere for this. One of the world's smallest bolts, and that doesn't have anything to tighten down yet. I think our fuel line goes to that. Alright, and this will probably need us to grab it by hand. Okay, that should have actually gone on before the fan, and we still need that crank pulley over there. Okay, let's put the crank pulley on. Yeah, I think my sequence is a little bit all over the place now. This just pops on. That's our injector. Okay, well, so there's nothing bolting it down over there. Okay, so that probably seems to be working that way. Okay, let's see if we can find ourselves the throttle body. I may have just missed it. It's probably down here somewhere. Supra stuff. Yeah, there's all sorts of stuff unnecessarily popping up here. Alright, Come on, we can find it. It should be here somewhere. Come on, let's scroll up a bit. Okay, pistons, HP. Okay, so we are coming up to what seems to be the M50 stuff again. I can't recall seeing it, because if I did see it here, we'll probably, yeah, would have bought it. I think that's how you spell throttle. Is it? Well, it's, okay. That is weird. How did I manage that? Throttle, Kairi throttle. Is that's our throttle body? Or is that 30i6? No, it's the right one. Okay, we've got it. Alrighty, and let's just spin the engine around. Okay, zip it up, zip it up, zip it up. Alrighty, and then this can go on. So that was removed with the pry tool, and then this can go on. Okay, that was also removed with the pry tool, and so was this. Okay, now we need some spark plugs, and then we'll get that mounted as well. Okay, let's just do this. We'll go over to i4. We are still on engine, so it's going to pop up all the inline 4 parts once the catalog decides it wants to cooperate. Okay, so where are the spark plugs? Somewhere over here. Just got to find them. Okay. Gonna have to grab 2 boxes because we need 6. Okay, so these will go onto this side. Alright, let's grab 2 more from this box. You know what? I actually think I've got spark plugs laying around somewhere in a box. An open one or half a box, you know. Let's just check this out. Yeah, I think I've got some spark plugs over here. Yeah, there's 2 of them in this box. Okay, so we'll just use these 2. Okay, I might have actually popped one in at the moment, so I don't know. That was a bit weird. And why? Okay, I'm looking at this too high. Okay, so I wanted to look there for the spark plugs. That was crazy. Okay, well, are these going to go in? They just... Yeah, there's something weird going on with the spark plug mounting over here, but I think if we just keep at it, we'll get them all in. Okay, well, there they go. Got another one in. Okay, still 1 to go. Okay, I think all of them are in. Yeah, that looks good. Okay, where's our wrench? Socket wrench or spark plug wrench? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, and then we can probably get this installed now. Okay, so those just pop in. And then we've got this. It also just pops on, I think. Yeah, those are into place. There's our exhaust manifold. Yep, lots of bolts. Did we get those? Yeah, we got those. May have missed a bolt down there. Okay, we've got it. Okay, do we have them all? Looks like it. Okay, and last but not least is going to be our engine cover, which actually covers the whole top of the engine anyway, so don't really see the gold as much, but I think we've got ourselves a newly built M50 2.0, which actually looks great. So this is going to go back into our car eventually. So I think what I'll do is we'll leave this one on the engine stand for now, because I need to clean up this mess. And before we install the engine, what I'm going to have to do is we're going to have to save and reload the game for the wires to come off. And yeah, we need to do the suspension. So that cross member might be bad where the engine mounts to. I can actually see it. Yeah, that looks a little bit bad. So I'm going to have to do suspension work first before we get the engine back in this thing. So I think what we're going to do, guys, is we're going to be continuing this in the next episode when we try and sort out the suspension work. I think that'll be the next step for this car. And then once the suspension is done, we can buy the rest of the parts for the engine, like the drive shaft, gearbox and exhaust and stuff. We'll get that mounted. And then this car will be running again. So I think we're going to cut this episode a little bit shorter than usual. And then we'll be back in the next one once we start continuing our work on this last stretch of this series, guys. So thank you all so much for tuning in. I really appreciate every view, every like. And also, don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you haven't done so already. I will appreciate it very much. And then I will see you all in the next one.
This is my garage. Wheels keep spinning on the highway. Good things happen in the driveway. Having good days with the good boys. I don't think that I'm leaving today.